Hello, welcome to Jesus Before Money. My name is Corey, and I'm happy that you're here. If you do me a quick favor, just like. I don't need you to subscribe, just like the video. And in the comment section, if you would like me to do some TA on whatever stock, crypto, whatever you want me to do, just leave a comment, and I will do a special video for you, okay? All right, to begin, this is for next week's earnings. I did a video on the bank sector and realized that my microphone was super crazy, so hopefully this video is better. But what I'd like to begin with is a quote from Jamie Dimon. This is recent, and Jamie Dimon warns that investors are assuming rates are going to go down, but says they could surprise and go higher, right? And I just would like to say, I don't have a crystal ball. Jamie Dimon doesn't have a crystal ball, but this chart, this 40-year consolidation on the 10-year yield, and then this breakout is very important. So in the back of our mind heading into these earnings, and just realize that, just like in my bank video, this could go higher, right? We consolidated, we broke out, we retested, so now this line is support, and we started pushing up. This was all last week. Broke out on Monday, retested on Wednesday, pushed up on Thursday and Friday. And so in the back of your mind, as interest rates go up, the stock market tends to go down. So this week and into July, we could see higher interest rates, right? Jamie Dimon's warning that, so just look for maybe continuation up to this trend line in the near term. I think you should get a check back, but if we ever break out of this, that's when we really have some problems, right? Because typically you retrace, to at least the 50% mark. It's not a fib number, but you're looking at 8%. That's just that's the going rate. Add a couple percentage points on top of that. That's your loan for an auto, loan for a car, loan. Higher interest rates on credit cards when credit card debt is at all-time highs. I think it's like almost 1.3 trillion. So just think about that, all right, so now we're going to dive into SPX, and then we're going to talk about the Dominos Pizza, JB Hunt, Johnson & Johnson, Progressive, GE Aerospace, Netflix, Pepsi, Schwab, and 3M, right? Other things coming up this week to take note of are on Tuesday we have the Consumer Price Index. Wednesday we have the Producer Price Index, and on Thursday we have retail sales. So all these things, along with the bank stocks on Tuesday, and all these, I would just call them collectively, they're kind of random stocks. There's not a group here, but they're all kind of sector leaders, and they're going to give us an idea about what to expect for the rest of the earnings period. So I thought that these stocks were important, okay? Like I talked about in my bank video, if you could get through the noise on the microphone, sorry about that. I'm still learning. I'm not a serious YouTuber, but, I'll back out. You had this, what I think is a very important parallel, COVID low, this high before the interest rate hiking cycle, and then the high right before we collapsed. And then you got all these trend lines coming in, right? I couldn't stress how important. I'm so concerned for the baby boomers that something's coming that we're not going to expect, and this thing's just going to sell hard, right? This is the next trend line to watch. Literally on Monday, right here, it connects with this former trend line connecting all these tops before we rolled over, right here. So there should be support, and nothing's really going on Monday. I kind of expect Monday is going to be the float up day, and then the banks and the PPI and the CPI and everything else that's coming this week could send us down, could send us a break. That's just what I'm thinking. Interest rates going up, it's just something to keep an eye on. I have no crystal ball, but we'll see. Let's dive into some stocks. If you made it this far, please leave a comment of your favorite stock or crypto, and I will do TA just for you. So grab some coffee. I'll try not to be boring, but it is what it is. It's TA. So first on the list is Domino's Pizza. I believe they report Monday. Yeah, they're going to report Monday morning. Okay, I do have this trend line that I'm watching, and the only thing that concerning me about DPZ, Domino's Pizza's daily chart, is that this downward move and this like inside this down move consolidation, almost like it's a bear flag, right? One thing maybe you could say this could potentially be a shoulder ahead, and maybe we get a shoulder for an inverse head and shoulders. But yeah, I don't know. That would kind of be a stretch. So what to watch here is obviously this parallel. If we break this parallel, then that would be a problem. But, a push up, is Domino's Pizza strong enough to move up and retest this trend line? Right? Nothing too special there. But for maybe a swing trade on the, or not a swing trade, but a day trade, if we pop up into this gap fill, which would be a pretty good move, but it's possible. A lot of things happen on earnings. Look for rejection right here around 492.95, maybe 493 flat. Okay, keep that in the back of your mind. And why I think Domino's Pizza is important is that it's just this. It's a company. It's kind of discretionary income. Are people still going out and ordering pizzas? Are they really cutting back? Is inflation really, impacting the consumers' wallets? So I think Monday's going to be very important on what Domino's Pizza has to say for the rest of the week. Okay? And then especially Tuesday with the bank stocks. That's going to be very, very important. But Domino's Pizza is going to be our first little indicator of what's going on. And another big indicator of what's going on in the economy is JB Hunt, right? My father and I, my dad started this little trucking company, and so this is near and dear to our hearts. And so JB Hunt, it's coming way off of its lows, caught support down in here, and has rallied. Has put in recently what I would say is a bull flag here, right? You're up, sideways consolidation, and just maybe, a little shoulder ahead and a much larger, uglier shoulder for an inverse head and shoulders. Just maybe. Okay? But JB Hunt, just like Domino's Pizza, if the trucks aren't moving around, if people aren't buying stuff, buying pizzas, it's a bad sign for the economy. You could buy on this trend line if you wanted to. And maybe we look for a breakout. And just in case this is an inverse head and shoulders, just in case they try to push the stock up, it's kind of oversold, really. But, that's about a $18 move. I thought when I calculated this, it took us up to, let me see, from here, 18. Yeah, it kind of takes us right into maybe this pivot here, right? This little gap from here to here would be a filling of this gap. That would be a really good move, 13% move. Not going to happen on earnings, but if we get a breakout, then we can retest. That'd be great. The only problem is we've been struggling to get above this line, right? We tried breaking out, and to confirm a breakout here anyways, now that we had this close above, we didn't close below. We're just hugging this line. But on earnings on Tuesday, if we can close above this candle, we're going to set up for a much bigger move. This is the move I thought it was here. Oh, that's because I wasn't on the right thing. Sorry, I'm still trying here. This is actually the head. So you're looking at about a $30 move on JB Hunt, which would take us up to, right here. Take us right up into this low pivot right here, which would be a really nice move for JB Hunt. Keep that on your watch list for a nice long, just in case the markets want to continue rallying, right? All right, now Johnson & Johnson. Can't remember exactly. I think we might be into Wednesday, but I saw the support line here. Boom, boom, boom. It's on the weekly chart, and it's tagged a couple times. The thing with this support line, though, is look how many times it has tagged. 1, 2, 3, maybe 4, 5. You know, Gareth Soloway always teaches that the more times a support line is hit, the more likely it's going to break. The weaker that line is getting that support. So, the only thing I saw is that maybe this is some bullish consolidation for a breakout, but, you know, where are we going back to? Maybe all-time highs. I don't have a good read on Johnson & Johnson. Earnings are on Wednesday morning. So it's something to keep an eye on, especially this trend line. A break of this trend line, then watch out. But I brought Johnson & Johnson up, even though I don't really have a good read, I would say, you know, watch up to the top, a break, either a pop to the top of this parallel or a break of this trend line, or a touch of this trend line is what you'd be watching. Then you can set up a little day trade to go long here or go short there. Okay? Not financial advice. But this is the XLV. This is the healthcare ETF. And what I liked about this is a weekly chart. If I switch to the daily, is that we're in this little consolidating wedge here, and we broke out, retested, and now we've kind of been moving up and chopping sideways, right? And maybe, just maybe, I'm not going to say we're head and shoulders yet, but, you know, if this could break out, I just think that the XLV has some potential to run the healthcare sector. I mean, even if we do head into a recession here or something bad happens, I mean, we have a lot of baby boomers that need healthcare. So maybe the healthcare sector runs, which could be a good thing for Johnson & Johnson. But if Johnson & Johnson reports really bad earnings, then I would expect the XLV to start to come in. Okay, something to keep an eye on. Progressive reports on Wednesday morning as well. And I remember I had some puts on Progressive, and I just got out of them too early, and I'm kind of sad. But this is a daily chart. You can see in the RSI, we're getting oversold here. I have this parallel, and what I'm kind of watching on Progressive is, you know, this low here, this low pivot. That's going to be a stretch. I didn't really see too much else. Maybe 240 is probably a better level, 240. But when I go to the 10-minute here, I have this wedge, right? Ding, ding, ding. And we're sitting right here. So Progressive is going to do one of two things. It's either going to break here or possibly start to reverse. The only reason I say it possibly could reverse is look at this bullish divergence in the RSI. You can see down here, it's going up up here as price was going down. This means buyers have been stepping in, right? So, Progressive on earnings, sitting on support till Wednesday, unless we get a lot of selling pressure in the stock market before Wednesday. Progressive, probability-wise, should move higher, right? But the level to watch, I believe, is that 240. 239.06, 240, somewhere in here, somewhere in this little gap area, this gap window right here. Yep. Cool. 240-ish. All right, one of the big high flyers, GE. Now we know with a big, beautiful bill, there's a lot of spending for the military industrial complex, and GEV or GE Aerospace is one of them. This reports on Thursday morning. And I think the most important trend line to watch is here. Boom, boom, break. It actually retested already. Tested. So now, you know, it's going to be a stretch. I was kind of thinking maybe a parallel here. We're still on the weekly. Let me go to the daily. Right? It's kind of been struggling. But here, ting, ting. You know, let's see if we can get above Where is Thursday? This is Friday the 11th. Thursday the 17th. You know, see if we could pop up. If we could break out above here, I think 268.58 would be a good shortable level. And there were these two pivots right here. Ting, ting, right? But we could run higher. And I don't want to say that's a good shortable level because it's not very far from here, right? It's not very extended move. I just didn't really see it. I mean, look, we broke out, retested, but we've been struggling up here. So just really interesting to see if we can get up to here. I would wait to 280, 281 if you're going to take a short on this thing. Just give yourself some breathing room, okay? That's going to bring us up, you know, into these levels, 289. It's just this trend line right here I think is very important to watch. The tag on this trend line, we should pull back, but then we're into support. So, you know, GEs, just look at this monster move. I mean, monster move up 625% since August 22nd. You know institutions are going to be August 2022, right? You know institutions are going to be taking profits. And then look at here. Look at the RSI. This is bearish divergence. This corresponds to here, right? I'll zoom out a little bit. See how overbought this was here? And we've been drifting up while the RSI has been going down. That is bearish divergence. This means that this is stalling. So I believe a tag of this line, if we can get up there, that would make an excellent shorting opportunity. Not financial advice. Okay? So 280. Probably keep an eye on the 280. Nice round number, 280. Okay? Let's see what 280. Now GE comes from the XLI. This is the ETF in the spiders, the XLI, the industrial ETF. But look at this. Look how extended industrials is. This is a weekly chart, the full chart you're seeing. The thing I kind of saw here was, you know, this isn't the best little pivot here, but boom, 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 boom. So the XLI is into major resistance. Everything is into major resistance. So the things I'm saying, you can't have counter trend movers like maybe JB Hunt moves up. Maybe Domino's Pizza moves up, right, to here. I mean, maybe JB Hunt breaks out. It's possible. But if you get a lot of selling pressure, things should sell. Maybe Progressive breaks out, right? Maybe GEV continues up and then has a big pullback. But, you know, into resistance. The thing about healthcare is I do kind of think healthcare could run here. Like a rotation of capital into healthcare because of the baby boomers and yada, yada, yada. I mean, onshoring. Who knows what the thesis is. But GEV, you know, we need to wait a little bit longer before we either get out of our position, take some profits off the table, or short it. Okay? Now, Netflix really kicks off the tech sector. I don't have the XLK, but I'll bring up the XLK next. And this was the trend line that everyone should have been watching, that I was watching. I put on puts on this way too early, but they're starting to get closer in the money. Now, here's a little teaching moment, okay? We never broke out here. Closed literally on it. Next day, breakout, but we never got a confirmation close above this candle, and then boom. Bull trap. Bull traps sell hard, right? I mean, this thing is in the sky. It's unreal how far. I mean, from this pivot here, and I think this is the parallel that I was trying to watch, just in case it went a little bit higher, and it could pull back and then head higher later. But right now, we're in a corrective phase. I can't remember. Let me see. It's up a ginormous amount, 721%. You tell me people aren't going to be taking profits? They're going to be taking profits. They're trimming back. Netflix earnings could be killer. The problem is it's in the sky. So financial institutions have been trimming back. But since this major pullback here, right, another thing I noticed is look at this trend line here. We broke. Not only did we break, we broke and confirmed a a breakdown. Broke down, closed below this trend line, and then closed below. And then closed below this candle. Right? Am I wrong? Yeah, just slightly. So technically that's a confirmed breakdown. Right? The only thing I thought was on earnings, and next week that we're heading into earnings, there's going to be a lot of buy the dip everythingers coming out in mass force. And that's kind of destroying my lines. I did see this little parallel, this descending parallel, right? So I think either we move down here into earnings and then get a pop, or it pops up into this resistance line, which was the break of this other upsloping line, right? Ding, 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 ding. Connecting with the top of this. So this would be resistance. This should be heavy resistance. And I think that's actually on Monday. Anyway, we're either going to run up into here. I think if we run up into here, about 1270, I think we're going to get rejected. Anyway, it seems to me like Netflix is coming down. Netflix is probably going to continue its descent. And, just from here to here, this is your 50% retracement, is 1081. Kind of corresponds to this top and this pivot here, but this would be right here. This would be like your big test if it comes all the way in. I mean, you're gonna have a lot of support underneath this thing, but I'm pretty much betting that it's gonna test the 1200 mark. And we'll see what happens at 1200. Okay? Don't know when that's going to happen, but Netflix leads the tech stocks. Let me pull up the XLK chart. XLK is in the sky. So I thought, possibly this was a good parallel, if you can see that. I know I just kind of moved the chart around like crazy, but ting, 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 right? The XLK even started to break out of this parallel. Uh-oh. Don't want to do that yet. I don't like that trend line. This trend line's off. Anyway. Let me see here. I have not. You're going to get some TA on the fly. TA on the fly. I don't know what happened here. But my lines are all off. Give me a second. I wasn't really anticipating doing this. Alright, let's see here. So these are the former highs. We've been chopping up in here. Ting. We came up retested. So this is now support. This is support. This thing could really move. Just like the SPX, it's kind of sitting on major support. So SPX, and you know the tech sector has been leading the S&P 500. So it's here, boom, boom, boom. Sitting here from Monday. The XLK, the technology ETF, same thing, Monday. Now this is higher. It's not here. It's not sitting right down in here. But now this has a lot of support. So is technology just going to take off? It's possible. A lot of those technology stocks are way up there. I would just say if this starts to sell, watch out, because this is going to catch a lot of people off sides. Okay. Pepsi reports on Thursday. And what I liked about Pepsi is it's had this run up and has been consolidating sideways, putting in a bull flag heading into earnings. It's still under resistance, but if this can get a break out, I think that'd be good. I think it could break out. You don't have to buy it right now, but I would buy a retest of this line. Much like the 10-year yield. Pepsi's more exaggerated, but if it breaks out and then retests the line, breaks out, comes back in, then I would buy for a much larger move up. And that'd be good. So Pepsi, I think, bull flag, could push. Pepsi could push up. Okay? And that, I don't know if I mentioned, was on Thursday morning. Okay. Schwab's interesting to me because of Hood. And they report, I believe, on Thursday as well. But look, I think I found a parallel here. Okay. Found a parallel, but look at this trend line. Ding. And that concerns me. Because it is into resistance. And it's extended. And it has some bearish divergence. Okay. So Schwab could come in. But if Schwab, for whatever reason, breaks out, has really good earnings, then that would make Hood go up. But if Schwab has bad earnings, then that would probably make Hood go down, right? So, and Hood's way up there. Hood, I lost some money on my puts. I got in just a little bit too early. I'll go over that chart with my crypto stuff, but I am going to have a revenge trade of a lifetime with Hood, I promise you. And so, yeah, I'm just kind of watching Schwab. I think it's going to be really hard for it to break out here. I think Schwab's going to come in. So I think Hood's going to come in. Okay? And I think Bitcoin is going to come in, but I'll do that video later. You know, FOMO into Bitcoin. All right. Let's go into 3M. 3M I thought was interesting. It broke out, has already retested. And looky. Shoulder, head, shoulder. For an inverse head and shoulders. Which I think is very, very interesting on 3M. Okay. And this could be a really big move. I mean, I believe it's about $32. Call it 33. From a breakout here, 33. Yeah. I think it takes us up right about 188, 190. And I can't remember. Kind of do this pivot here. So we could see a pretty nice move in 3M. Right? And I'll leave you there. I like 3M. Keep 3M on your watch list. Keep Pepsi, a break for Pepsi on your watch list. Keep a quick little pop in Progressive just because it's oversold. And then Domino's Pizza, maybe. But I think the biggest play for Friday is 3M. Up move, sideways consolidation. We had a breakup. We've actually had a confirmed breakout and then a retest of the line. So 3M could be a buy right now. Just keep that in the back of your mind. Watch 3M. See if I'm right. Not saying I am. I mean, if the market sells, 3M is going to sell. But this definitely looks like an inverse head and shoulders. A retest. It's already found support. Right? And now we could really have a nice push in 3M. And with that, I'll yield you back your time. Thank you for watching. If you made it this far, please give a like. Please leave a stock or crypto in the comments. If something you want me to do, I'll make a video just for you. And God bless. And remember, this is not financial advice, but send this to your financial advisor. I'll do TA for them if they want. All right, thanks. Bye.